Three friends split a $150 restaurant bill. One has a coupon of $30 off total, and they all agree to share the discount equally. Compared to splitting $150 evenly with no coupon, how much less does each friend pay? Let's do the math without coupon. Without the coupon, they would split $150 divided by 3 and pay $50 each. With the $30 coupon, the new total is $150 minus 30 equals $120. So they now pay $120 divided by 3, which is $40 each. Based on this math, each friend pays $50 minus 40 and equals $10 less than they would have paid without the coupon. And the correct answer here is choice C, $10. This question is all about perspective. You're looking at 4 similar shapes, but one of them doesn't quite match the rest. Can you spot which one stands out? Look closely. Rotate the shapes mentally. Which one faces the wrong direction? The correct answer is choice D. When realigned, D is the only shape that faces right. All others face left, making D the odd one out. The price tag drops from $30 down to $24. How big is the discount? Let's break it down. That's a $6 drop. Now divide the drop by the original price. 6 divided by 30 equals 0.2. Multiply by 100 to get percentage. 0.2 by 100 equals 20%. And the correct answer here is choice D, 20%. What is the primary role of human resources manager? Let's think about it. A human resources manager isn't the sales floor, so scratch out selling products. They aren't accountants either, so payroll isn't the main focus. Managing client accounts? That's more of a sales or account manager job. Here's the heart of HR. They handle employee concerns, build a healthy work culture, and make sure company policies are followed. So the correct answer here is choice D. You and 3 friends split a restaurant bill of $146. Each person also tips $5 individually. How many does each person pay in total? First, divide the total bill of $146 by 4 people. 146 by 4 equals $36.50. Then add a $5 tip per person. $36.50 plus $5 equals $41.50 per person. And the correct answer here is choice A. A cube is painted on all 6 faces and then cut into 64 smaller cubes of equal size. How many of the smaller cubes have no paint on them? After cutting the cube, it would have 64 pieces, which is calculated as 4 multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 4. To find the number of unpainted cubes, remove one outer layer from each side. This leaves an internal cube of 2 by 2 by 2, which is 8 cubes have no painted faces. And the correct answer here is choice A, 8. A fitness app suggests burning 2,500 calories weekly. If each workout burns 400 calories, how many workouts are needed per week? To reach the goal of burning 2,500 calories, divide 2,500 by 400, and the result is 6.25. Since partial workouts aren't counted, 6 full workouts are needed. Or maybe you can work few extra minutes in your last workout for a week to meet the goal if you're trying to get at least one day off. Here's the catch. Every time you try a question like this, you're training your brain like a muscle. Stay with it and get mentally stronger with each step. You're presented with 3 squares. First square has numbers 6, 3, 18, and 9. Second square has numbers 4, 2, 6, and 3. And then the third square has numbers 2, 1, 16, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select your answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 1, choice B, 10, choice C, 8, and choice D, 6. Remember, we're here to sharpen your skills, so you would need to try to solve it yourself. And just like on the real test, I'll set a timer. Make sure to lock in your answer before timer's up. And after you're done, we'll go through the solution together. And I'll have a surprise for you, as there are multiple ways to solve this particular problem. Let's go. Are you ready? The way to solve these types of challenges is try to detect the pattern. Is detecting pattern easy? Not necessarily, but it's definitely possible. Let's take a close look. Let's look at the first square. First square has numbers 3, 6, 9, and 18. You might start thinking that numbers increment by 3. 3 plus 3 equals 6, 6 plus 3 equals 9. But then the pattern breaks. Alternative way to look at the numbers is by looking at the row. 3 and 18, 6 and 9. Do you see any relationship? Probably not, because there is none. But if you look at columns, you might see the relationship. In the left column, the bottom number is calculated by multiplying the top number by 2. And in the right column, the top number is calculated by multiplying the bottom number by 2. Let's look at the example. 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6, and 9 multiplied by 2 equals 18. Let's confirm this pattern with the second square. 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4, and 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6. Remember that I mentioned that there are multiple ways to solve this. The first pattern I described combines multiplication for both columns. The second pattern could be a combination of multiplication and division. For example, in the left column, we could calculate the bottom number by multiplying top number by 2. And in the right column, we could calculate the bottom number by dividing the top number by 2. Let's look at the example. 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6, and 18 divided by 2 equals 9. The cool thing is, regardless how you choose to do it, you will get to the right answer. And for us, the time is to shift the focus to the third square. Let's confirm the pattern with the first column. 1 multiplied by 2 equals 2. And as you might have guessed, to calculate the missing number, we may need to use division. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And the correct answer here is choice C, 8. But wait, are you ready to practice your skills? Try this question to see how you would do. You're presented with 3 2x2 squares. First square has numbers 4, 2, 5, and 3. Second square has numbers 3, 1, 6, and 4. And then the third square has numbers 8, 6, 10, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select your answer out of 4 possible choices. A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 8. Once you're confident in your answer, post it in comments and I'll share my feedback. Good luck in this intriguing challenge. In this question, you will boost your spatial reasoning, critical thinking, and problem-solving abilities. You're presented with the map, which shows 6 cities in the United States: Boston, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and New York. Your goal is to understand the map, understand special circumstances, and find the shortest open route from Cincinnati to Boston. Your choices for the answers are choices A, B, C, and D. And just like an actual test, I'm setting a timer for you to solve it in the clock. Let's get started. Time's up. Do you have your answer locked in? Great. Let's dive into the solution. It's simple and easy to follow. Let's start by looking at the map and understanding where source and destinations are. Cincinnati is in the bottom left corner and Boston is in the upper right. All the connecting roads between the cities are shown as green, but this might be misleading because you need to understand the special circumstances. And in fact, understanding special circumstances is the first step in solving this problem. There are 3 types of special circumstances listed. The first one is accidents reported and road is closed to traffic, which is represented by the letter A. In real life, this might be collisions or crashes blocking lanes. And you see that the route from Pittsburgh to New York is marked with A, which means that this route is closed to traffic. A second circumstance is road construction closure. In real life, it represents repairs or upgrades requiring lane closures. And you see that the route from Cincinnati to Cleveland is marked with RC, which means that this route is also closed. And the route from Cleveland to Boston is also marked with RC, which means it's also closed. And the third special circumstance is trickiest of them all. It shows severe weather and marked with letter W, but in parentheses it specifies slow traffic. In real life it might be snow, ice, or flooding, which makes the road unsafe. But what's important to understand is that this route is still open, it's just slow traffic. And now let's look at the answer choices to determine which one is correct. Choice A, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland to Boston, is not a valid choice because the route between Cleveland and Boston is closed due to the road closure. Choice B, Cincinnati to Cleveland to Pittsburgh to New York to Boston, is also not a valid choice. Route from Cincinnati to Cleveland is closed due to the road closure, as well as route from Pittsburgh to New York is also closed due to the accidents. Same is true for the choice C, Cincinnati to Pittsburgh to New York City to Boston. This is also not a valid choice because route Pittsburgh to New York is closed due to the accidents. Let's look at the last available choice, Cincinnati to Pittsburgh to Philly to New York City to Boston. This route is open and represents the correct answer. But wait, you might ask, what about Cincinnati to Philly to New York to Boston? And when you ask this question, you would be absolutely correct. This is probably the shortest route, and it is open because the route Cincinnati to Philadelphia is just slow traffic, but it is still open. But as you can see, this choice is not listed as one of the possible answers A, B, C, or D, which means that the correct answer here is choice D. But wait, are you ready to practice your skills? Try this question to see how you would do. You're presented with the map of 6 U.S. cities: Boston, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and New York. You need to understand the map, understand special circumstances, and find the shortest route from Boston to Cincinnati. And your choices for the answers are choices A, B, C, or D. Take your time to review this question thoroughly. Once you're confident in your answer, share it in comments, and I'll be happy to provide my feedback. Best of luck with this exciting challenge. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.